Casino is the name, and in this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about money. I wanted to do a money talk, man. There's been so much going on in the world of banking, in social media. It's just been so many things going on. I just wanted to come on here and just discuss because it's so hard to just do a one video when it's so much to really like talk about, so much to cover. Okay, so I was just thinking about something, right? Now, you know how everybody is trying to put their kids in good schools, right? So you want your kid to be in a good school. Let's say you put your kid in a private school, all right? So the kid is in a private school and the curriculum is harder, right? And you tell them keep your grades up, keep your grades up. The curriculum is harder. Remember, the curriculum is harder. So we're paying, or you're paying, or you're trying to go through whatever hoops you got to jump through to get your kid to the private school, because more than likely a private school doesn't have public bus transportation, so you got to probably drop them off or arrange something. But you're doing whatever you can to send your kid to a good school, like a good elementary school, middle school, high school, whatever. And so sending this kid to this good school, and let's say the curriculum is harder, right? So more than likely, it's hard to really say, but the grades may not be, well, let's just say the curriculum is harder. All right. Now, if they went to public school, more than likely, just an average public school, their grades, well, the curriculum wouldn't be as hard, right? So we want to challenge them on the curriculum. But why do we want to challenge them actually on the curriculum? This is something that I've been thinking about, right? Because if the curriculum is easier for the child to do, and they're going to be weighted, or they're going to be going to college or being selected for college based off of their grades, right? And we're giving them harder work. Why are we doing that? Like, just thinking about it, why are we doing it? And this is also how I think about work and other things. Like, why do we feel like giving ourselves a harder situation is better for us in the long run? In the long run, like if we're just looking at school, we're gonna say going to school. Maybe we want them to get into, want them to do well, and well, we want them to get a college degree. We don't actually care. I don't actually care what a child does in school as far as in college, or I don't say child, but I don't care how good you do in college. You get your degree, you move on, get your job. All right, like you finish your Juris Doctorate, and you're the lowest. I think you can't get less than a B to finish your Juris Doctorate, but you get the lowest B in the class. You get your doctorate, your Juris Doctorate. You test for the bar. You can sit for the bar because you have your Juris Doctorate. You test for the bar and you pass the bar. There's going to be some A students who also won't end up passing the bar. So, and of course, there's going to be some B students who don't pass the bar. It's not guaranteed that your degree or your GPA is going to guarantee that you're going to pass the bar, right? But the whole point is for you to pass the bar and get a good job. I'm an accountant, and I can honestly tell you that my GPA has had no weight on whether or not I was ever able to get a job. Nobody has ever asked me what my GPA was. Nobody. You know why? Because they needed my skill set. They needed my skill set. So if us sending our kids to school, elementary school, middle school, high school, and we want them to do well so that they can get into a good college or get into a college, and uh, then to get into a college, then we want them to actually get a degree so that then they can have credentials to to have a good career, right? I don't want to say get a good job, but maybe you're going to be a lawyer or a doctor or an accountant and start your own firm, but you still need those credentials in order to do those things. So But if at the end of the day, the whole point is for us to push our kids to go to school in order for them in end result to get in a good school and get a degree so that then they can get a good job. Why are we sending them to difficult schools, elementary, middle, and high school? Why are we doing that? Why are we asking them to do a harder curriculum in elementary, middle, and high school? I don't really know why we're doing that. Does anybody know why we're doing it? I feel like so. I have a public school education. I went to Godby High School in Tallahassee, Florida. I went to a bunch of middle school and elementary schools. But let's say I went to Griffin Middle School and Godby High School, also Leon High School, but in Tallahassee. And my school was Godby was a little turned up. It was probably the worst school in Tallahassee at the time, and it's a lot of schools. But I came out of there and I went into the military. I got my degree. What else did I do? Yeah, I got 2 degrees as a matter of fact. And my GPA in college was actually very, very low because earlier on in my youth, I was signing up for classes and wasn't actually taking them. So I started out, when I went back to college, I started out with a 0.25 GPA, and I had to bring that up above a 2.0 in order to graduate. I graduated with a 2.101 GPA, and I still have my own throne. Okay, at my home, in case you don't know where I'm at, I'm home in my quote unquote throne room. All right, and I do quite well for myself. And what's good? Accountants take the bar exam too. See, that's true. That's true. There are accountants who take a bar exam and CPA exams and things like that. And I did well without actually having to do any of those things, even right. um, because the profession didn't necessarily require that in order to get money, right? Which I don't think that parents even understand this. So we want our kid to have to have a harder curriculum. What's good, bro? Yeah, we want our kids to have a harder curriculum in elementary, middle, and high school. Which, if you have a hard curriculum, let's say your kid would normally be an A student, but because it's a harder curriculum, they're a C or a B student because they're in a harder curriculum, right? How does this help them get accepted behind students who are only looked at based off their GPA by colleges to say, okay, this kid has an A, this kid has a B, or this kid has a C, even though you went to a private school or a harder curriculum, and maybe you know more, but your grades don't reflect that you know more, and the college is only really looking at what your grade point average is. Are we doing something wrong if the goal is to get into a good school? Should we want our kids to go to an easy school? Should they be in an easy program? Oh, give me 1 second. Hello? Yes. I am, but I'm live right now. So, oh, you good? All right. Trying to let me out. All right. So it's like, are we doing something wrong here? Are we focusing on the wrong thing? Shouldn't we want our kids to have an easier curriculum so that they can get higher placement or higher selection or look better to colleges to then finish a degree so that then they can get a good job? And I actually don't know what schools require. Like, okay, maybe if you're trying to become a doctor, you're trying to get accepted into a medical school, a law school, something like that. I understand why it's important for you to try to maintain a higher GPA in your undergrad so that you can do those things. Excuse me. But as far as getting a job, if your bachelor's degree or your associate's degree can get you a job, then I don't know when it really matters for I don't know when it really matters outside of trying to get accepted into a new school. I don't know what employers actually care about your degree outside of if you're trying to. There may be some employer. I don't know what employer actually cares about your GPA. I haven't met any who actually care. I don't know. They just care about the fact that you meet the minimum requirements that it takes to do the job. I don't know. I don't know. I've been thinking about that. Okay. So also, this is something else I want to talk about. Let me see what you guys are saying. That's it. All messages are visible. Galvanized Financial TV, what's popping, bro? So, oh, wrong phone. Let me look at this one. All right. So this is something else. This might be a little controversial. This is the Grant Cardone situation. I don't know if you guys have heard about it or know anything about this, but everybody, I'm gonna say everybody, but I've been seeing this. People have been sending it to me, and it's saying, okay, uh, they're saying Grant Cardone. I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this. Sorry, commercials are playing. I'm playing somebody else's video, but I want to play this, right? Because I want to know your opinion on this. I want your opinion. I think that our perspective of money and life and all of these things have just been confusing. Money has been so confusing to so many people, and we are definitely looking for things um, to complain about. Okay.
This is Matt Garland, and I'm and there's a 10 times better chance, 10x, that the black kid knows me. Now, the reason is because we go after that audience and we're talking to them in very street terms, if you will, very not big nomenclature, vocabularies, we just keep everything very tight and simple.
Okay. So what Greg Cardone just said was um, he was talking about marketing, talking about the people who gravitate towards his products and stuff. And he said that you can have an older white guy and you got a younger black person. And 9 times out of 10, the younger black person will know who he is before the older white person will. And he says the reason why is because when they target them, they speak in uh, more simple terms, more street slang, things like that. And hold on, hold on. Is that about him monetizing the black urban audience? Yeah, it's about him monetizing the black urban audience. And Adam says, "Bro, I have a question. Can I buy a truck and rent it out and receive monthly income?" Yeah, of course, for sure. How would you advise me to go about it? Lease it to what company? Also, what are the passive income I'll be making? That hold on, we're gonna get back to that because that's a question with multiple parts of it. But yes, so this is a video where he was talking on the news about uh, his target audience, who he's marketing to, and so I have some people around me, and I play it, and because I've seen all of the people, the black people especially, who are upset about what he said, and I'm curious. How do you feel? I want to know how do you feel about that? What he said about um, the older white person and the younger black person. The younger black person is probably going to know who he is because he targets that audience in particular, and how he targets them is by one, speaking to them in more simple street slang or simple ways, and also using street slang to target that audience. So, um, I saw all of the comments about how he's monetizing the Black urban community. I mean, I think everybody is, first of all. But how do I actually feel that he's saying that he's talking to us in simple terms? So this is the part that I found the most interesting. So I play it for one of my friends from the islands. He's Black, by the way. And I say, how do you feel about this? And I play it, and he said, well, he ain't lying. We do like stuff, the general census is that we do like things more simple to understand. We don't want nobody to be talking too complicated. We want things simple. He completely agreed with what Grant Cardone said. He didn't actually have a problem with it, but I saw so many Black people having a problem with it. And I don't know if I don't necessarily feel either way. Like, I feel like everybody's targeting the Black community. He's saying, yeah, this is how we plan to target them. I know a lot of Black people who do want things more simple. He also talked about, accredited investors versus non-accredited investors. Basically saying that, if he's talking about accredited investors, he's talking about older white guys or white people. But if he's targeting the Black audience, he's not targeting accredited investors. And people I've seen only take the investor part of that statement and not the accredited investor part by saying, what, Black people don't invest? No, we do. But the SEC, if you look this up, I'm an accountant. Remember, I'm an accountant. Let's look at the numbers. Let's look at reality. The reality is that we make up, SEC, according to SEC, I think it's SEC. I could be wrong about that. I'm better with numbers than actual words and agencies. But I believe the SEC says that the Black community makes up about 1.3%. I should look this up. I'm going off memory. I used to do economic stuff back in the day. But make up like 1.3% of all accredited investors, right? And the Hispanic community is like another 1 point something as well, or something, maybe 2%. I don't know. But if you make up 1%, less than 2% of a population, you're not the ideal client if I'm saying I'm looking at accredited investors. It wouldn't make any sense to try to figure out the mentality of the 1.3, 1.5%, the less than 2% of the population. If I'm targeting accredited investors, I'm trying to figure out how the largest group wants to be communicated or has shown that they gravitate towards. So, are we upset that he says the word simple? Moonlight, it's my dog. She down there. Move around. Move. She hitting the thing. So, but yeah, are we upset? We don't have time to be sensitive about these topics. This is Galvanized Financial said we don't have time to be sensitive about these topics. We have to pick out the jewels and get rid of the rest. F him. No one really like us, respect us because we don't respect ourselves. Okay. Who said that? Hold on, let me go back and see who said that. Peeps 510 said that. All right. Galvanized Financial said accredited investors are those individuals classified by the SEC as qualified to invest in complex and sophisticated types of securities. I know you know because Galvanized Financial TV he's a hedge fund manager. So to become accredited, certain criteria must be met, such as having an average yearly income of over $200,000, $300,000 with a spouse or a domestic partner, or working in the financial industry. You know what? I might need to become an accredited investor. Anyway, but yeah. So, but are we are we so focused on having a complaint about stuff that somebody can't even say the truth? Right? Is there not truth in what he's saying? Is there not truth in it? I honestly prefer things more simple too. Personally, I'm just saying, I am from an urban environment. I came from the hood. I grew up in Frenchtown area of Tallahassee. You know anything about Frenchtown? Look it up. Just look it up. All right. So I grew up in the Frenchtown area of Tallahassee. We always spoke in street slang. We always understand that a little better if you're talking to us. I remember even being in my first my first economics class. I had to do a description of something, and I used street terminology to explain supply and demand. He was saying we could be creative, so probably wasn't that creative, but I used what the price of marijuana would be in the streets and the costs associated with transporting it and stuff like that. And he was like, "This is great. This is the best presentation I've ever had." But um, I've also never, and most of the people that I know, and I don't know all the black people, okay, and I don't speak for all the black people, but most of the ones that I know do not want you to talk to them in very complex terms, especially when talking about business. We want it very simple. It's the easiest way to communicate to almost anybody, especially a young person, is to use simple terms. But is that wrong? Also, is it wrong to target the black community if you're trying to sell something? Are we upset with that? Are we upset that somebody says, "Oh no, I target them," right? Now look, on a smaller scale, right? We have our YouTube analytics and stuff like that, and I can look and see what age group gravitates towards my message, right? And you know who it's not? It's not older people in general. Just older people in general do not gravitate towards the message that if I'm doing a video talking about college, the people who I'm talking to are not 65 and older as far as the mass majority. There may be somebody 70 years old trying to go back and get their associate's degree. There may be somebody 80 years old trying to get their accounting degree. It's possible. It's possible, but not very likely, right? So, excuse me. So if I'm targeting anybody in a video, it's people who are like-minded and are probably at a certain point in their life to be like-minded, or they're younger people. There's some 13 and 15-year-olds who was like, "Yo, by the time I get to be 25, I'm gonna be rich listening to your videos," because they're already seeking this out, right? And so I wasn't necessarily targeting them, but I still have a better track record with somebody their age than somebody who's 65 and 70. If I'm talking about buying your first house and you're 80 years old, they might be selling their houses at 80 years old so they can go vacation for the rest of their time or whatever. But it's just understanding your target audience. And, I don't know. Like, I don't have a problem with it. Personally, I don't have a problem with what he said. Can I see how people can take offense to it? Yes. But why are we actually taking offense to it? Like, well, I want to say, I do see I know why people are saying they're taking offense to it. But is there a problem with people saying their truth, right? It's so many things that target the black community, and they're just not saying it. Are we upset that he said it? Or are we upset that it's true? Or are we just upset with the truth? Like that we it's like saying, I don't eat anything but fish, right? I only eat fish. I'm pescatarian. Okay? I used to be vegan, but I'm pescatarian. If somebody said, made a statement about black people liking chicken, like then it's true though, right? Like it's true. Like, we do like chicken. I don't even eat chicken, but I know my people like chicken, and I used to love chicken. I think most people do like chicken, but for sure, my people like chicken. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Like, is there something wrong with being truthful? I don't know. I don't know. I'm curious about your opinions. Okay. So DL said, "What's up, casino? How have you been? Or $1 million worth of assets?" He talking about being a accredited investor. DL said, "Which I don't have." Uh, so galvanized financial says, excluding primary residence. There once was an old guy in a movie. DL says there once was an old guy in a movie that went to college, right on campus. You're still my boy Blue. Laugh out loud, JK. All right. Just stunned Edward says we are the top consumers, so why not target the black community? Why not? Why not? I I don't have a problem with it, right? I don't have a problem with it. Now, the message that he's putting out, if it was something that was designed to be at our detriment, then maybe we having a different conversation. But if it's designed like it's an educational message, now it's also his message. Whether or not he believes in what he's saying or not, I don't know. But if he believes his message is the right way to do things, and he puts that message out, it's a slippery slope. But we have to be smart enough, as our people have to just be smart enough to not fall for the okie doke, which is almost impossible. Somebody's gonna fall for the okie doke. By the way, can y'all please smash the like button? Okay, let's have a. Oh, you know what? I got to answer this question about the truck. Can you rent out trucks? Yes. If you buy a truck, yes, you can rent a truck out. I'm gonna just tell you about my situation that I did, because it might answer some of these questions that you have. Because he asked, uh, Adam says, can I buy a truck and rent it out to receive monthly income? How would you advise me to go about it? Lease it to a company? Also, what are the passive income I'll be making? So, I'm not. This would be more of a consultation kind of conversation, but we're just gonna talk hypothetically. I'm gonna just tell you about what I did. All right. So I was moving over to the consultation side of trucking, where I was mainly just doing consults, helping people get their business started. So I knew my truck was still running. I knew I wanted to like transition. So somehow somebody called me. Excuse me. Somebody called me and asked me, about getting a truck, getting a truck, and and all of that. And so I was just telling them, yeah, man, I mean, there's multiple ways you can lease a truck for somebody else, because shoot, I mean, I might even be trying to do that. He was like, hey, I'll lease yours. So I helped him get his business and stuff started, and he leased my truck so he didn't have to go buy one. I rented my truck to him. He paid me every week. You can do it every month, whatever, but we did a little contract, and I leased my truck under him. He had to carry insurance on it, like for the commercial driving and stuff, and we did the paperwork. It was a beautiful thing. All right. So that's how that went. And he did have his own company. So yes, it will be leasing to a company, but can you also just rent a vehicle to somebody? Yeah. I also had Turo going on too. Like it's so many. It just depends on what kind of truck you're referring to. Depends on what kind of company you're referring to. Because if you just wanted to buy a truck and rent it out, you can do that on Turo and make money all day. But it's so many variables, and the money is kind of going to depend on you what you're trying to make, because let's say if you're just trying to make an extra $100, almost any truck can make you an extra $100. If your truck note is 400 and you're trying to make 500 a month, you can almost do that with any vehicle. But if you're trying to say, okay, my truck note is 500 or 400, I'm trying to make 1,200, then you need to make sure that whatever kind of vehicle you're leasing, depending on how you leasing it, if you just renting on Turo or if you're trying to lease it as a truck, like a commercial truck, then that's gonna all depend on what kind of vehicle it is and stuff like that, and what's your margin, how much you're spending on it to rent it out, what you can negotiate, all of that kind of stuff. So it gets a little more complicated than that. But okay, let me get back to okay. Okay. DL says people get triggered, then a few days later, right back to their natural habits. They won't stop buying what the media tells them to buy. Facts. Salute to you, bro. Thanks for dropping all the great information. I appreciate your greater cleaners. I appreciate you. All right. How long did that last? Did you pay out the truck from you? Um, so that lasted. Don't know. I don't know, cause I didn't do a year lease. I might have did like a 6 month lease because I wasn't necessarily trying to stay doing that because I was looking to trade the truck in for a car that I got. Um, because the truck just wasn't practical to be parked in. I didn't want to stay in that space for a long time, so maybe 6 months, and then I traded it in. So yeah. I had the hot shot moving. That was it. Um, but yeah, so um, what else? Okay, let's talk about money. Like actually, let's talk about what is the thing that we're missing about money, right? Like, is money is not a difficult thing to get. It's so much money in circulation right now. So much money in circulation right now. It can't be difficult to get, right? So I'm curious. What is? I'm gonna tell you first. First, I'm gonna do a video about this. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it. So the largest check that I ever got was this month. This month, I got my largest check. I'm gonna do a whole video about this. My largest check was $94,400. Okay, one check for 1 month of work to my business. Right? It's crazy. Okay, life changing kind of shit. Right? Um, that money affects the way, like seeing money like that will affect the way you process things, the world, right? Like what I would accept as far as a pay, like per month, like excuse me, she. But the amount of money that would even move me now is not the same. Let you hold 100,000. That's why I was talking about. I should be an accredited investor if 200,000 is the income you have to make in a year as a single person. Like that's 300,000 as a married couple. That's the. Yeah, definitely. Shit, I brought in 200,000 in probably 3 months. Shit like that. So, but seeing money like that will affect the way you see the world and the way you see money and possibilities. And then when people are like barely getting by, it's like damn, like what are they thinking? Because it's so much money out here, so your brain is like expanding. It'll be awesome if a person could loan money out like the bank does. Well, they can. They can. It's still risky though. The problem with the bank, or the problem with people loaning money out, like the bank, let's say the bank starts with no money whatsoever, right? And you go and you sign up with the bank and you make $5,000 a month. The bank can loan out with 6 to 9 times the amount of money that you deposit with your monthly payment, your monthly deposit, right? So if you deposit $5,000 a month, they can loan out $30,000 of fake money, of money that don't really exist, 10 times, whatever it is. But they can loan that amount out, and then they can make interest off the money that they loaned out that they never really existed. And so Then when those people open up bank accounts and they have money coming into it, then now they can, and it just keeps going, keeps going. It's crazy. So yeah, that's the beautiful part. Look up T Speak says looking for a mentor in the contracting space. I'm willing to compensate you for your time. How can I contact you, bro? By the way, 850 brother from Milton, Florida, former Unreal 100% DV. Keep inspiring. All right, so you can reach out to me at casino is the name at Gmail. I'm I've been so busy when it came to um, getting this business stuff going, running. Like got a bunch of people working with me and stuff like that, like under me and stuff. So like trying to make sure everybody, trying to make sure the business is going right, righteous. So because of that, I didn't really have a lot of time to like try to build a mentor program and stuff like that. But it's definitely something that we looking at doing, um, and so yeah, just reach out to me and we'll definitely. I'm building a team right now to help me with this. My dog is going crazy over here, but yeah, I'm building a team right now that's gonna try to help me out with getting everything figured out, so that yeah, we can start having some little sessions and everything. So I want to start with like a meet and greet, where like a mini class almost. You know what I'm saying? Where we meet 4 to 8 hours or something like that, and try and get different people because it's gonna be different people. Because I got a lot of big government contracting people that I'm connected to. I'm talking about big checks. You know what I'm saying? $75 million type shit. Um, you know, when you hear these people talking about 700,000, $1 million, 1.2 million, 3.5 million. When you hear them talking like this, it'd be like, what was I doing before? Like, why was I doing this before? But yeah, we're gonna try and get something like that going. But yeah, just send me that email, and we're gonna try to keep you in the loop when we start sending that stuff out. Like you said earlier, a lot of people are afraid of investing. It's crazy to me. But I had to learn how important it is myself. Still pushing. Like, what's up, Greater Cleaners? So look, this is why I got out of stocks. Okay, so like, and mainly, I still had like mutual funds. I had like a Fidelity account. Get away from my shoes. Move like, stop. Go sit down. Sit. Sit. Show this. Show this. I'm trying to talk to her like she trained. Apparently she ain't. But so like I had mutual funds, Fidelity account. I got a 401k plan that I had from when I was working with the government, stuff like that, TSP account or whatever. And they had like 40 some thousand in there, whatever. It was cool. It was cool. But I put a lot of money in it. And then the matching made sense. That's why I was even using it. Plus, I needed to reduce my taxable income. So I had to do that because I was making too much as an employee. Stop, stop, stop. So I was having to put money in there because I was a high income employee. So after that, so after that, I was like learning all this stuff about money and stuff. I was already an accountant, but believe it or not, a lot of accountants are not necessarily good with money. It's completely different. Not what you think. So I was trying to like figure out all of these different things about like what I should do, where to put money, and because I was an employee, I wasn't still like a typical employee. It makes sense for most employees to just put money in a 401k plan and be done with it, right? But me, I'm buying houses, I'm buying cars to rent on Turo, I'm trying to renovate houses, I'm I'm buying equipment for YouTube. I'm doing all kind of stuff. Right? I'm just like I'm a serial entrepreneur. I created my own watch. I got my own video game. Trying to get that back up on the App Store now. But like I'm just a serial entrepreneur. I'm an investor. I invest in myself. And so I realized that like, okay, let's say you were trying to get a 12% return. I'm gonna say 12%. Somebody the other day told me 8%. I was at the bank. The guy said, I said, well, what's a good return for you? He said, this is the guy at the bank. He said 8%. I was like, okay, you want 8%. If you get 8%, you happy. So on $100, if you get 8% over the course of a year, that's $8. All right, give or take a little bit for compound interest, but that's $8. So you go from $100 to $108 over the course of a year. Now that $8 has already been ate up by inflation. All right, I promise you, inflation is gonna eat that $8 up. It's crazy. Something gonna go higher. Gas prices, the apartment you want to move to is gonna be the apartment you in is gonna be $25 per month more than what that was. So you done waited all year to make an extra $8 on top of the $100. It's, something's wrong here. Okay, so I realized that investing in myself, I could I could take, because when you buy stocks, you're still buying into parts of other people's business, and because you're buying a small part of the business, when it does make a profit, you also get that small of a profit. But I could do one job, right? Like I'm say we go paint somebody's office and we charge them $800 to paint their office, and without me even painting, maybe I got two guys. I paid them $150 a piece, and I get to keep the rest, right? So I charge them $800. I can make $500, and out of that, I might not have anything invested because I may have to have them get their own supplies, right? Let's just using this as an example. I can make $500 without having to put anything in. So I didn't, and I also didn't have to wait a year to make the money, right? I could make that right then. So active money is always going, unless you have a lot invested, the active money is always going to be better, but it allows you to take that money and then invest it in a passive vehicle. So, but running my own company, like even if I was in let's say there was a company that was stocks, and those stocks did the same paint job, right? That profit that I would be looking to get would still be about 8% over the course of a year if it was a stock, right? Let's say it made $500, right? 10% of $500 is $50. So not only, well, let's say it was $800. My bad. It was $800. No, no, no. Let's say the profit was $500 because you still got to pay the people. So the profit is $500, and I would have got 8% of that. So I wouldn't have got even $50. Okay, I wouldn't even get $50. So that from that perspective, I was like, okay, I can either keep this 500 or I can go try and get like $45, $47 or something like that if I am putting money in stocks, and that's if I'm getting $50 if I'm getting 10%, right? They're never gonna pay you, and you got to wait for the whole year to get that, right? So I could have been getting $500 every month, or how how much it is, but it's just like, man, it would take me all year to even still realize the income from that. Also, I get to provide other people opportunities. So when I start looking at like, okay, if I invest in myself, first of all, I'm going to pay myself well. Well, like I'm going to realize more of the profit because it's my company. But instead of investing in stocks or other things like that, other people's vision, I invest in my own vision, and that's worked great for me. Okay, so I've taken 4,500 and made 300,000. You know, so it's, and then now not all of that is profit because I still have employees and things like that, but like I still could realize a huge income from a very small investment. But there's nowhere you're gonna put $4,500 that's gonna yield you 300,000 in a year. It's nowhere you're gonna do that. It's nowhere. It's nowhere. It's nowhere. Like let's say your profit is, you put 4,500 up and your profit is 150,000. There's nowhere that's gonna do that for you. Oh, congratulations, Casino. Makia Benzi, what's popular? That's true. Stock investing hasn't worked for me. Yeah, I mean, it can work over a long period of time where you got to have a dumb amount of money in there. And of course, stocks went down and things like that. Some people was getting ready to retire, but they couldn't retire because the stock market went down right before they got ready to hit the button on their 401k plan. And so now they got to stick around and wait for the market to come back and all that kind of stuff. But if they had invested in themselves, that'd be cool. Whatever. I don't look at my stocks. I don't look at my stocks. And I probably got more stocks than most people I know. You know, but it's not something that affects my life one way or the other, and probably don't really affect your life. But the only thing that I know is go get big money, invest in yourself. I'm investing in myself. That's all I invest in, and or even if you're not investing in yourself, invest in somebody else. I don't want to say invest in somebody else, but invest in another small business or something like that that you can help grow. Partner with somebody, become a partner or whatever. Um, just do something different because the traditional means, like, just understanding money at this point is just way different. Like, my view of money is like, man, I can go do a job and make 2,900 in a day, 2 days, right? And I don't even have to step foot in there. Let's see, my profit might be 2,500 on a $2,900 job, and it's like it's like it almost doesn't make any sense to do other things. For me to even partake on a project, like say a month for me, the lowest I would take is 15,000 for a month, and that's as a CEO. Really, my goal is to be at least 25,000. If I have to run a project like a project manager or something like that, but like I'm a CEO now, so I don't even think of money in the you know, same way anymore. How did you develop that big money mindset? It's crazy. So I'm not mad at the little chicks. The little chicks got me here. You know what I'm saying? Until until recently, the biggest check that I had ever received was 7,600. 7,600. And I had a tenant once who was like, they had received over 100,000, I think $140,000 lump sum once, and they had received another like big check like that too from some other kind of settlement, or whatever. So, but the biggest I think they had got was like 140,000, but they were broke at this time, right? And so we sit down, we talking, and I'm just trying to understand them, like where you headed in life and all of that, and so. Because as my tenant, what I'm saying, I want to make sure, I'm just trying to see what's going on. So they were saying that, they were waiting on another big check, and, that they balled out for a while on that 140, and it's gone or whatever. And they have only the show for it is a car. And the car had just got totaled or whatever. And so it was about to get totaled. I don't think it had got totaled yet. But they had a car to show for it. And so, I got these houses and things like that. And so I was like, man, that's crazy that you got a check for 140,000. That's crazy. I can't believe it. And they was like, yeah, man, I know what it's like getting a check like that. And then I was like, how much you think the biggest check I ever got? They was like, shoot, looking at this house, man, you probably got a check for like, what, about 250, 300? I said, 250, 300 what? They were like, 1,000. I said, hell no. They said, more? I was like, nah. Biggest check I ever got was 7,600. And they were like, what? How? And I was like, well, you do smart things with money. You make smart decisions. But I never got a big check before. By the way, could y'all please smash that like button, man? Get this thing ranked up higher in the algorithm. But a lot of small checks. If you get a bunch of $500, $1,000 checks, some $20 checks, I mean, my monthly income was, I don't remember exactly what my monthly income was. I think one month during that time frame, I might have brought in like 12,000 or something like that during that time frame, right? But it was a bunch of small checks, a bunch of small checks, and I got to a point where I think my income was somewhere around 220 a year, something like that, 220,000 a year. My income was somewhere around that, and because before I knew it, like I was I probably was above six figures before I knew I was above six figures. Like before I was like 105,000. I didn't even know I was making 100,000 a year. It was just like when I sat down, I calculated everything. I was like, oh damn. But when I got to like 200 and some thousand, like 220, um, I was still getting a bunch of small ass checks, and and so we'll talk about taxes in a minute. Hold on. So, but I was getting a bunch of small ass checks, right? And those small checks, had got enough of those small checks. But I'm like, man, I'm sitting like two something. But if I really want to get straight, if I got just one check, like, then I'd be, it'll wipe out a lot of stuff that I need to still get off me. You know what I'm saying? Still trying to pay shit down, pay houses down, pay off cars, all that. So it's like it would allow me a big check would allow me to move some things, and do some things or whatever. And so um, I set out after that to say, you know what, I ain't never been hating on the big check, but it was like, okay, I got enough of these small checks. It's time for me to see what that big check feel like. Then I think my first big check was, hold on, let me see what it was. Let me see what my first big check was. All right, let me see. QuickBooks, opening QuickBooks. Let me see what my first big check was. Like big check, what I'm saying, to like five figures. Because at the time, it was only 7,600. All right, hold on, let me see. Let me see what my first big check was. Yeah, my first big check was $65,885.34. Yeah, 65,000. I'm waiting on the check right now for 56,000. Um, should be getting here any day now. What's today's date? Expecting that probably next 2, 3, 4 days. 2 to 4 days. Hopefully they don't pass that. Hopefully they don't pass that. But waiting on another check right now for like 56,000. So, that's what am I gonna do next? You said half of it gonna be going to Texas. I'm trying to read all y'all messages. How did you develop? Okay. Um, Malkia says half of that gonna be going to Texas on ordinary income. Yeah, if that was why I needed to. So I was having to put so much money in my 401k plan in order to avoid jumping into a certain tax bracket. But I can only put 21,000. Excuse me. You can only put like 21,500 in your 401k, non-taxable, which still you can't have access to. So it's still like I can't live off it. So I got to put $20,000 up out of my income. I still don't have access to that $20,000 to live, to buy things, houses, cars, to put money down, things. So that money is gone, right? Like it's put up for me when I'm old, right? But I can't do anything with it now, and now sets up later, in a way, right? So I understood that, but I also want to live good now too. So it was like, so being a business owner or a CEO or business, let's say being a business owner, you can write off a lot of things. You can write off them to anything, okay? But it allows you to use the money today and then pay taxes on what you don't use, you know. So DL says, man, congratulations, thank you. Roth IRA, yeah. Do you believe in using business credit? Yeah, I believe in using any kind of credit that can get you what you need. I got a mortgage. I got multiple mortgages. I got two mortgages, and these two mortgages are credit. Like, yeah, I believe in credit, bonds. Uh, all of that stuff is too slow for me. those bond stocks, oh, that's too slow for me. Like I would rather go buy some equipment for 20,000 that can make me 20,000 a month. See what I'm saying? Like I would rather go spend 20,000 instead of putting $20,000 in a bond, because that 20,000 that I spend buying equipment can make me $20,000 a month, right? So that 20,000 opens up a profit of around, maybe let's say after everything, the expenses and all of that, you might make you're gonna 20,000 a month for 12 months is, let's say 20,000 a month, yeah. So like you might make 240, but then you can turn around and after expenses and everything, paying employees, whatever, that equipment might net you maybe 120,000, right? So that 20,000 that I would put in a bond at 5%, it's it's insignificant for my real life. Like it's not gonna do anything for me. Okay, it's not. It's just not. All right, it's just not. All right. So like that's where I'm at with it. Okay, it's not like even at 10%, right? You got $20,000 in there. 10% of 20,000 is $2,000. Okay, you can't compare the two. You just can't. All right, you just can't compare them. And you're talking about 5%. It's $1,000. All right, it's yeah, it's the money too slow. I can't do it. Man, information is so powerful. You can say the intro. Companies out there making $1 million a day. Yeah, for sure. A lot of people gotta understand we can get that. Yep. Authority has an age requirement too, I believe. It's 59 and a half. He was trying to get rid of the money to avoid paying high taxes. If you have to put money in, yeah, that's okay. But I think Roth IRA is like $6,000 is the most that you can put in there. So even at 21,000 plus the 6,000 and something, maybe around 28,000 or whatever. But it's not. It's still insignificant when you can just, if you're a business owner, everything, everything you can write everything off. Invest in equipment that will make you more money is brilliant. But 10K a year limit, I think is good as a regular person. You're a business now. You're elevated. You're past. Yeah, then you become a business and everything else is fixed. Like all of that is fixed. It's all fixed. Everything is just part of running your business. So, but we definitely need to change the way we see money, and we gotta understand we need large incomes. I mean, the small checks, but you need a bunch of small checks to be a large income. But we still need large income to really make any kind of real impact or improvement. And it's so much money out here. There's no reason why we can't. Sorry, I don't want my brother down in Miami, and it's turned up down there. It's violent down there right now. All right, so need I need the semi prices to come down. Houses too, stagnant and can't make a move. Prices are too high to get started. Start a business. Costs $100 to start a business. You know, start a business. Like, are you just looking to buy houses because you want to live in a house, or are you just looking to buy a house because you want to get into real estate? Like, what is it? Now, if you're just trying to get some money, there's no shortage of that at all. It's money everywhere. It's money everywhere. All right. Um, so it all just depends on what you want to do. But however much money you're making this year, add 50,000 to it you made last year, add 50,000 to it this year. Just do that for me. Everybody on here watching right now, add 50,000 to your income this year. Whatever you made last year, add 50,000 to it. I'm trying to get on here so I can say that on the group, in the chat. Add 50,000. Let's see. Where we at? Add oh shoot. Add 50,000 to your income from last year. There we go. Just put it in the chat. Just dropped it in the chat, my people. There you go. Add 50,000 to your income. All right. I'm also gonna put all right. By the way, could y'all just let me know where y'all watching from? I was kind of just curious, you know what I'm saying? So when we start having these little group meetups and stuff, I'll be able to see kind of like where people coming from. You still feel the same way about it. Okay, hold on. Let me go back up. All right, y'all asking some good questions now. I'm in trucking. I want to get money out of trucks, all that. But those are big ticket items. I'm interested in those things as income. Also, take my first house. But also to buy my first house. I keep her home. Okay. Well, to address that, you're in trucking. I want to get money. Okay. I understand wanting to get your house. Keep her home. I don't know. This is not my first house. My first house when I bought it, I knew that I wasn't buying my forever home. This still may not be my forever home. I think I want something about 3 times the size. Not anytime soon. I mean, I would like it sooner, but I can't afford it right now. But yeah, um, yeah, a lot of those things are big ticket items, but if it's to generate money, you don't have to go out and spend a lot of money in order to generate a large amount of money. That's all I'm trying to say. Um, Mokia says, do you still feel the same about college? I like that. I like that. Okay, do I still feel the same about college? Absolutely. What do they say? Uh, the average person with a bachelor's degree over a high school diploma earns about $1 million more over the course of their life. I still believe, I still believe that that's absolutely still the case. I still think that college is. Think about this. How many doctors do you know without a bachelor's degree? They have to you got to get your medical degree. You get accepted to medical school, you get your bachelor's. How many doctors? Right? And if we say, okay, those career fields, doctors, lawyers, um, accountants, all that, like if we're saying those career fields are some of the highest paid career fields, and when you go to a hospital, it's a bunch of doctors. How many nurses working at the hospital without a degree? None. So when you're looking at all of the people who are actually working, were making 6 figures or more, 7 figures, um, and all of that, outside of athletes, certain entertainers, certain professional athletes, that kind of thing. Outside of those people who have unnatural talents or whatever, for the regular folk, those people, by the way, make up less than 1% of the 1% of the population, right? Very, very few. If you go to hospitals from any county you live in or any surrounding counties, go to the hospitals. See how many staff working in there. You'll be surprised how many of them making 6 figures or more. You'll be surprised that when you get to that town, whether or not it's a big city or a small town, think about how many of those people on that staff there are compared to how many professional athletes are in that town. In that town, not city. not major city even. Because you can look at Atlanta. Think about how many hospitals we got here, how many doctors, lawyers, nurses, all of those people, compared to how many professional athletes that we actually have who make a lot of money, right? It's way more doctors, nurses, lawyers, accountants making a large sum of money, and they don't have to be superhuman athletes and stuff like that. You don't have to be born naturally large or be able to jump as high as LeBron. So it's absolutely, without a doubt, college for sure. That's at least, I want to, like when they say liquor is liquid courage, college also just gives you a certain um, comfort in what you're doing. I have a degree. Um, JT Automations, it's my dog, JT Hustles. He speaks out against college. Now, do you need a college degree to be successful? No. But he has a degree. I have a degree. I believe Sheena has a degree. Uh, most of the rich people I know have a degree. Most of all the rich people I know have a degree. Some of them have higher degrees than I do. They don't have degrees. It's just, and most of the people who I know who aren't rich don't have a degree. They don't. Most of the people I know who don't have who aren't like rich, they don't have a degree. I, I didn't make that be like that. That's just what it is. Okay, let me see. Y'all checking in from DC, Baltimore, Maryland. Okay. Fort Stewart, Georgia. What? But y'all headed to DC. That's what's up, man. I did an event. An event down there, I think. Is that near Hunter Airfield? I think I did a concert down there. I definitely did a concert at Hunter Airfield. Is that near Savannah? I don't know. I don't know, but man, I appreciate y'all coming on here and rocking with your boy, man. But about to get up off of here, and we definitely need to have these conversations more often. I'm getting ready to. I'm gonna go out tomorrow and start looking for a venue that we can maybe put together like a wealth building seminar or something like that. Like, because I want to talk about family banking. Um, my dog, man, I got a Frenchie. Come here, come here, come here. Moonlight, you came over here, man. You want to come over here? All right. Well, we'll talk about real estate trucking, grant writing, government contracts, and family banking. That's what we're gonna talk about. You gonna be there? Moonlight, you gonna be there? She said she gonna be there. That's what she said. All right. Just checking. I found your channel when I decided to go back. This is Malika Mokia. She said, just checking. I found your channel when I decided to go back to college and major in accounting. It's kicking my behind with a child and full-time job, but I'm 45 credits away now. That's what's up. Congratulations. You almost there. You almost there. Yeah, Savannah. Okay. Get some sleep, bro. It's cool to see you still on your grind. For sure, bro. For sure. All right, man. We're about to get up off of here, man. I appreciate y'all. We're up out of here. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Right now, you're watching Casino Was the Name.